Well, good evening. I'm your host, Robert Wilson with Cowboy Wisdom Hypno Acuity, presenting 7 ways why I rose out of media fear mongering. 7 ways why does the media report the rhetoric and keep people stuck in the negativity of the world? Because the negativity is easier. Negative people and the negative flow of or stream of rhetoric makes people easy to control and keeps them stuck in what's wrong with the world. As I look at the world today, the media keeps us stuck in the dismay of yesterday with the rhetoric of somebody else knows more about our lives than we do. And how's that actually playing out in the world today? And they keep repeating what is negative about every situation. And they have an underlying tone of, you don't know what to do, but we do. You ever see how the media talks like they're perfect and the world is messed up? I'd like to look at their personal life and see what it is, but you're not messed up. You're in a mystery of liberation. That's what life is a mystery of liberation, invigorating freedom internally. But we're so busy trying to think about life and what we're going to do, we never slow down to sit in silence, to hear the sovereign intuition, liberating elegance of ourselves. All the stuff that's going out in the world and we think is, this is happening, that's happening. It's actually going on in here, but we're so busy trying to make the world something it isn't. And the thing about the world, it's embedded with our ancestor anchored programming, third world enslaving mindsets, that we think we have to do something and it's all out there. You have to do zero in the physical world. To rise of your dreams, it's all in here. And it's the body and the spirit. But they want us to do the thinking mind that binds us into the minds of yesterday. If you really open up to have the audacity to admit your life mirrors yesterday every day, because we come in to wake up in the morning with the same thinking thoughts going through our mind, and we're trying to blame the outside world for our current life. And the outside world is nothing more than our energy from here going out here to show us where we're locked, blocked, and limited. See, the blockages and the limitations of the world are here, but we have that. It's really the powers of the world use the media to control us, because what they say yesterday, the media repeats today, because the media is a politician's memory, in my opinion. And if you really listen, they never give you the whole story. If there is any good or any enlightening prowess of a story, all they do is tell you what's wrong, the people did wrong, and something else. Is I was listening to a sports show the other day, and the team won, but the quarterback threw a couple interceptions, but they won, and they threw for like 350 yards, and they had a real good game. But through that 25 minutes, they talked more about them 2 interceptions than what that quarterback did good. See, we can never go to the inspired side of life and speak about the good. We got to talk from the past. This is my past going this way. Future's this way. So we keep talking about the past. We stay in the past. But what it was is that, and that guy kept talking about, but he threw 2 interceptions. The 2 interceptions had very little to do with the outcome of the game. But we've been so taught to look at the negative and focus on the negative of our life, and the media just keeps that revving that up and going like this. How much of your life do you speak negative? And how much of it do you speak to stay inside the socialized boundaries of BS? When you can rise out of the socialized boundaries, boundaries are fears. When somebody says, all you got to do is set a boundary, set a boundary. Every boundary you set a new limiting fear within that subconscious, because you'll never go beyond it. A fear is actually being apprehensive about being in the moment and questioning that situation. And every time I get something that says boundary, I discard it. Boundaries really are nothing more than fear, putting us, you're lining your life with fear. And people think, I set a boundary, I can really tell that person what to do. Well, if you're telling them from inside a boundary, you're not telling anybody but yourself. And that's the thing about every word you speak is about you. When you can understand you want what you desire, you want to speak your dreams, desired lifestyle, and accomplished outcome to the world. You really want to speak your daily life through your imaged inspirations. And that when I was listening to that podcast, I was saying it's hard to rise out of our egotistical, arrogant, anchored programming. That's what the world lives, is that egotistical, arrogant programming. And that know-it-all ignorance where, oh, I don't think that's right. As soon as you say think and no, it's over. Because you're thinking no from yesterday. And the media uses think and no. And something else the media does is they use neuro-linguistic programming on you. Every time you hear the word but, that's neuro-linguistic programming. I think you're a hell of a person, but I'm a better person. See how much of that you remember. I'll repeat that. You're a hell of a person, but I'm a better person. Which one do you feel? And as I was listening to the programming, and then I listened to a lot of short reels and shorts, because I can only stand the media for about 30 seconds because it's all burping BS is what it is. And then you listen to it, and you just really understand how this world is caught up in the third world enslaving mindsets of business and the mediocrity of education and the limitation of college education. See, education has limitations. Knowledge lacks the experience. And see, we've never risen out of the experiences of our life because we got computers now, computers and AI. We never get beyond the situation. Computers and AI are great, but how is computers and AI stealing the wisdom of the world? It may give you the knowledge, but it's never going to give you the wisdom. And if you listen to any media story, they stay on the negative of the situation. Like when you're hearing about congressional hearings or something where they had some whistleblowers. The media exposes the whistleblowers to cover up for the corporations. There is all the media is owned by corporations. There are 7 people who own all the media in the United States. And if you've been listening, you see where they tried to control everything. But the negativity and the unsavory story is the main topic of any situation the media talks about. They like bragging up the corporations, the CEOs, the politicians, yet cutting down and talking despondent about the blue collar. But I want to tell you, the blue collar makes the world go. The white collar slows the world down because it lacks the ability and the wisdom for the world to move forward. They got the knowledge, but they don't have the wisdom of the small, intricate things that make the world go around. And as you listen to I used to like to listen to the talk shows, the money ones and NPR and all them. But I really woke up. All they're doing is spewing the same rhetoric and the same controlling stuff in a different way. I read a book called The Nightmare of Camelot by the name of guy by the name of Gus Stelzer. And in there was it's when we first started free trading with China, and they was talking to China, and there was something, I forget what it was, but they was trying to bring Hasbro toys was moving to China, and they was wanting to do something, and I forget all the story, but the lady, one of the main ladies for the CEOs for Hasbro says, "You ain't going to raise our prices, are you?" See, that's the thing. We've educated the integrity and the common sense out of ourselves. And as long as there's nothing illegal in the United States as long as people are making money. And if you look at the world today, we're really stuck in yesterday. But it's always the negative is the main topic, or what favors the corporate America or a politicians that's in their agenda. It's never about the working class people. And they want to always say when something happens, well, it's his education level. Well, people that come from unsavory situations do commit crimes. But what's the difference between somebody that commits a blue collar crime than all the white collar crime that's going on today? Jeffrey Epstein, all this stuff. Oh, that can't be talked about because that messes with the media's paychecks. And see, here's the reason I am speaking about this. You want to rise out of your manipulated malarkey of yourself. You got to start understanding how it gets embedded in you every day, and that's through the media. The funny one is everybody wants gun control or do away with, which that's a whole different subject. But what I'm saying is, well, the reason there is no common sense about the gun control is it messes with campaign contributions. As long as nothing messes with anybody's money flow, it's all good. But as soon as you got to mess with their money flow, it's not occurring. And when you speak good, so when you rise out of a situation, just like in life, how much do you speak about the good in your life? And how much do you speak about the negative of your life and your past? And a lot of this comes from socialized education on all levels. It teaches and talks negativity because they're always looking for what you did wrong. And they very seldom say what you did right. I wasn't good in school. I can't blame the school system for nothing. But however, the school system did me no favor. All it did was give me a little bit of education. But it steals people's audacity, because when you don't think like the teacher, they think out on you. And there's a lot of kids that I've talked to and a lot of people. The education, they all thought you had to be smart. But look at, the movie Animal House. That's the one that really comes through. And if you watch Animal House and you watch it all the way to the end and you watch the credits, all the goody two shoes all ended up in a very bad situation. And the renegades or the ornery kids or the mischief people, they all ended up pretty good in life. See, when you go to school and you do become a teacher's pet, become a follower, that's going to have some consequences in the real world. So as the media talks about the good and all the good that everybody does, they never talk and they never show us the unsavory stuff of corporate America and the world. The media talks about what the wealthy have, but they never talk about how the wealthy keep taking from the working people. There's something else. The media just spews as what is wrong with life. And if you look at the arrogance of them, you can really see it. And to me, it's comical because they speak like, oh, this and this. And all them talk show pundits sit on TV telling you what it is and how good, but yet you never see them throwing their hat in the ring. See, we got so many keyboard managers of the world that it stays the same, but they talk about, oh, yeah, this and this and this, but yet they never put their hat in the ring. It's like, take the president of the United States. Everybody, including me, we say, oh, look what he's doing. Look what he's doing. Well, he threw his hat in the ring. It's easy to make somebody fun of somebody that's in the game when you're never in the game. When they're of the game and you're in the game, you're not anywhere near it. So it's easy to criticize and ridicule, but that's fear and insecurity within the people. And something else I've noticed for myself, I kind of wait for people to do things for me, and it never occurs. So if you want your life to rise from where it is, get your hands dirty. You're going to have to get into your everyday life occurrences to see what opens up for you. But when you listen to the media, you're listening to the negativity of the world, but you're listening to the silent control of people's thinking. My favorite one is, well, I don't listen to the news, but I heard this on the news today. I just look at them and say, huh? I kind of give them the Scooby-Doo. What are you talking about? People say they don't listen to it, yet they follow the news. And see, all the big TV companies, they're owned by a certain amount of people, but they're owned by people that have a discourse for the blue-collar people. And I'm going to tell you this, the blue-collar people will lead us out of this desperate situation that white-collar created. I'm not a fan of the white-collar or the college-educated and the business people of the world because they're all trained in third-world enslaving mindset and ancestor-anchored survival programming. We all are. But when you can open up to admit to that, you can rise. See, the media talks about desperation and dismay and conflict between people, countries, and all the unstable events through the world. Yet, we still have the same unstable events and encounters and countries fighting with each other. Look at the Middle East. Wow, even just look in this country, we got the white collar with the blue collar and the inner cities, the country. None of us can communicate our way out of it. But the media's purpose is to keep us in the dark. The media is the manipulator of corporate America. And the politicians. The unstable events through the world and everything is, and the media says we got to build up business. Business profits will take us forward. Education. Well, we've built up the business profits. We've educated the people. How's the world doing? That's up to you. But see, the business profits are necessary for the betterment of the country is a fallacy. Wages will rise the country. And I'm not talking about the minimum wage. That's a whole different story. Man, that is a story. But see, wages during the Clinton administration, we had that .com boom. We did all the .coms. Oh yeah, ooh, watch this. And everybody was working for a high, was working overtime, making a high wage. We actually paid off some of the deficit. And see, wages flow up. High dollar CEOs, the money stays up here. And corporate profits keep it up here. It never flows. But see, wages go this way. Profits go this way. And see, we've been taught this. And here's one of my favorite college educated ones. Wages are inflationary. And yet, wages are inflationary, but corporate, the CEOs' benefits and at the end of the year bonuses, they're not inflationary. You know, something is they had the CEO of and the CEO making 30, 40, 50 to 300 million a year. That's not inflationary to the bottom of it. That's not inflationary or raises the cost of any product. But then $30, $40 an hour wages, oh, they go up $1. Then people on Wall Street want to jump out the windows. Well, here's the thing about all you, I'm going to tell you this to all you Wall Street pundits. The people that do the everyday labor and work of this country make your life better. And you guys are the most greedy, unthankful people in the world. But there's always comes a time when everything comes together. As I now understand, the media people never have a challenge or anything in their life go haywire because their life is perfect and everything they do is perfect. Just watch their arrogance on TV. Well, that is propagandized bullshit. So today we rise out of the individualized, socialized bullshit of the Wall Street pundits, college education, third world business enslaving mindsets. To understand, you got to have the people that are willing to do the labor, and you got to have people up above. But the thing is, when the up above people lose respect for the down, for the people that actually make the country move, pretty soon you have an unsavory event like maybe 1929. You know, the blue collar worker, you can send all the blue collar workers home and you'll have no refinery workers, no electrical powerhouse people, no electricians, plumbers, nurses. They go home. How's your life? You never ask yourself a question, what if this happens? And what if this happens? What is going to be your outcome? But today we got this, we'll just hire somebody from another country, which is your prerogative, but that ain't being a patriot to your own country. When the patriotism and the integrity leave a country, pretty soon you're a third world country. And see, the worldly leaders, they've lost appreciation for the hourly worker or the people that make the world move. And once you lose appreciation for the foundation of your country, see, business is not the foundation of any country. People are the foundation. And it kind of comes down to this one. People want gun control, but yet people are playing violent video games, giving their kids video games and keeping the violence in their everyday life, but yet they want something they're unwilling to do themselves. And see, that controlling anything that takes campaign contributions away from a politician probably is never going to happen. But one thing we have to open up to, wherever we're at, there's an undercurrent of our ancestor anchored programming, and the world is stuck in warmongering and a third world enslaving business mindset that controls us. So today we're going to liberate ourselves from ourselves to listen to the world. As today is the day I staunchly stopped hearing all types of media stuck in the muck of indoctrinated third world enslaving mindsets and ancestor anchored programming. Propagandized educated ignorance of the sky is always falling, and every day the world is heading into a recession as there's a war breaking out. Businesses are failing. They need taxpayers' bailouts. And something else I'm going to say is everybody's got their hands out. And, the bottom line is whatever country you're in, you have to embrace the economy of that country. And once you figure out and think you're not part of the country will slowly go down. And I'm going to tell you this straight up. The United States is having challenges because people are trying to do away with understanding. People are the assets, not the AI and not the computers. So the media spears fear mongering, and we buy into it. So today, your rise of individualized, sovereign, sassy tenacity to rise out of yesterday. So I want to thank you and good day.